hi, it's News Dump, and look, it's Chloe Dykstra.
Oh, hey, how's it going, Elliot?
Been a while.
I didn't realize we were jumping right into this.
Oh, we're getting right into it. We got some news.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, Ricky's gone, but
Ricky's
you're here.
gone. Yep.
And everything's fine.
The female Ricky.
Yeah, girl Ricky.
Lady Ricky.
Lady Ricky.
Yes, hello.
So let's get into some news.
All right.
Now, a thought that I had earlier while writing this episode that filled me with existential horror at my own mortality was the fact that there's a good chance that you, the person watching this, were not even alive in March of 1999 when The Matrix hit theaters.
So fucking gross, dude.
This is the worst.
Oh, God.
But yeah, you weren't there, but it came out in March 99. It introduced all of us to bullet time, and it briefly made leather and trench coats cool.
That was the worst time. You should be glad you were not alive for that part.
Yeah, it was a lot of bad looks.
No.
But yeah, as of a little over a month ago, The Matrix is 20 years old, and it's hard to really convey how new and awesome the whole thing felt at the time.
Keanu Reeves was actually already a star going into it, but after The Matrix, he was a certified action movie hero, and that's what continued to this day with early reactions to John Wick 3 saying it's the best in the series and probably one of the best action movies of all time, which is pretty incredible.
I mean, I believe it.
The third in a action series might be.
That's how I felt. I'm no longer on like the press tours or the press mailing list, which sucks because I didn't get to go to the screening for this one.
I got the dog treats.
That's cool.
It was pretty cool.
But yeah, when I saw John Wick 2 advanced in theaters with the press, I was like, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That was better than John Wick 1.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about this, and that seems to be, everyone I know that's seen John Wick 3 is like, I can't say anything, but holy fucking shit.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
So the first two, A+.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, John Wick probably wouldn't actually exist without The Matrix, since that's where Keanu Reeves met, I can never say his name right, it's Chad Stahelski.
You got it.
I said it. His stunt double, who later went on to make his directorial debut 15 years later with John Wick.
Yeah. As fondly as most people look back on The Matrix, though, that's not really the case with either of its sequels. I honestly remember pretty much nothing about them. There was a big fight on a freeway. There was two twins.
Wasn't there like a fuck den in there too?
Oh.
There was definitely like a crazy fuck rave.
Oh yeah, okay. I believe The Matrix 2, it opened with a big old like rave. Year 2000.
It was a fuck rave.
Everyone's sweating their ass off because
yeah.
they're decked out in leather, and then yeah, Keanu Reeves and the lady, they have like PG-13 sex.
Wasn't there like Big Bertha and then they jump off and no, that was Super Mario Brothers. Never mind.
Well, anyways.
Deep cut references.
So that's pretty much, I remember that. I remember Colonel Sanders with all the TVs behind him. I remember the two like albino twins and the fight on the freeway.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's right, I remember those too.
But I don't remember anything else about it. And likewise, when it was announced around 2 years ago that Warner Brothers was going to be rebooting the franchise, or at least continuing it in some way. Basically, everyone on Earth thought that it was a fucking terrible idea, and it would never, ever live up to the original, especially since the original filmmakers, the Wachowskis, weren't going to be involved at all, and Keanu had already gone on the record saying that he'd only be open to returning if the Wachowskis were running the show. There was talk of getting Michael B. Jordan involved as the new star, and look, he is great.
He'd be so good.
But in general, this seemed like something that was doomed to fail, if it ever even got made in the first place.
Reboots. Anyway.
Yeah.
But alas, this week while doing press for John Wick 3, which again is apparently fantastic, director Chad Stahelski was asked by Yahoo Movies UK about that fourth Matrix movie, and surprisingly, he said, "I'm super happy that the Wachowskis are not just doing a Matrix, but they're expanding what we all loved. And if it's anywhere near the level of what they've already done, it wouldn't take more than a call to go, hey, we want you to be a stunt guy, and I would probably go and get hit by a car."
Yeah, that's love.
It is love. It's true love. I wouldn't fucking do that.
Yeah. This was apparently the first time anyone with knowledge of the project had acknowledged any involvement from the Wachowskis. So it sounds like Chad might have slipped up a bit. But Yahoo asked whether he knew.
Yahoo?
Yahoo? Well, it's Yahoo UK, so it's
Yahoo?
Yahoo.
Is that the UK version?
Sure. They asked Mr. Stahelski whether the Wachowskis would be directing the movie. He replied, "I'm not sure of the overall, I'm not sure if Lana is, but he did say that they're definitely involved in some capacity and that, quote, I would absolutely put down whatever I was doing to help them." So, with this knowledge, Yahoo UK then asked Keanu
Sorry, you just keep saying Yahoo, and it's not.
Yahoo.
It's Yahoo. It's Yahoo.
Yahoo.
It's
There's no exclamation point in the British version. It's a period.
That's
Yahoo UK, they asked Keanu how he would feel about returning as Neo given the new information. He said, quote, "That would be a gift. I wouldn't say no to that." So, some potentially pretty exciting news there. I mean, given how innovative the filmmaking in the original movies were and how much time has passed, it's possible that a new Matrix could once again blow everyone's minds in fun new ways. But it's also still very early on. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Can we just let it go? Can we just
or make a new movie. How about that?
Can we just let it, yes, please let it
Like,
go.
I love that they're talking about this while they're doing press for John Wick, which is like one of the rare original pieces of cinema fiction to come out in the last few years that like people love. It's like
one of the first action films where I'm like, oh, I'm interested in this. This is really
and it's not based on anything. It's not a remake, it's not an adaptation, it's just like do more of that. It's OC.
Yeah.
Original content.
But they're still, I mean, to be fair, they're making a third one. So
I mean,
they're gonna go ahead and keep going with that.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna Fast and Furious this shit.
They're gonna wring out what they can. As long as it's good, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Just keep doing good.
Keep doing good.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. So after we filmed this, Chad Stahelski, or his representative, reached out to Slash Film to clarify and say that his comments on a Matrix reboot were strictly hypothetical and not, in fact, confirmation the Wachowskis are working on a new movie. So I guess they're not. Or Chad wasn't supposed to say something. Anyway, Matrix 4 is probably happening regardless, because Hollywood loves money. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Moving on now, we may live in an absolute golden age for superheroes on the big screen. Is it a golden age? Are we in the golden age?
Depends on your perspective,
On your perspective. But if there's one comic book character who's gotten the shit end of the stick despite all of that, it's gotta be Gambit. Fucking nerd. You just mimic Gambit?
You worked with Brandon for like 3 years. Don't call me a fucking Gambit
No,
nerd.
look, you're not on an Apple box, so we're all good.
Oh, they don't know that.
All right, that also looks not great.
It's me, Gambit. Just throw
That's the worst fucking superhero ever.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, his own chance at big screen live action glory was in X-Men Origins Wolverine, a terrible movie in which the character Gambit was completely wasted despite actor Taylor Kitsch doing the very best that he could with the script he'd been given.
Poor guy.
And poor guy, man. A few years later, though, A New Hope appeared. Really? A New Hope?
My bad.
Sorry, I'm giving you so much shit today. Star Wars A New Hope appeared in 2014. Channing Tatum enthusiastically signed on to play Gambit in a standalone movie that promised to do the character right.
But alas, as Ricky and I have noted repeatedly over the last several years, this Gambit project has been a total mess. And now, it's officially been canceled.
No.
The mouse got it. The mouse has eaten the cheese. And honestly, the sad saga of getting Gambit on screen, it goes back even further than Wolverine Origins. In 2003's X2, he was played by a stuntman for a brief cameo, but that scene got cut. Then Keanu Reeves was potentially going to play him in 2006's The Last Stand, but that didn't end up coming together.
A lot of Keanu Reeves happening.
The man is prolific.
Yeah, he is.
And that would have been great.
Yeah.
Probably. I can't really see him doing a Cajun accent, so maybe not. But yeah, that didn't work out. Then the actor Josh Holloway from Lost, he was being eyed for the role, but he wasn't available. And then Channing Tatum got cast as Gambit for The Last Stand, but then the screenwriters eventually wrote him out of the script before they shot it. Then there was X-Men Origins Wolverine with Taylor Kitsch.
Yep. Channing Tatum, though, being a good old Southern boy who considered Gambit his favorite superhero, he's actually a pretty rad superhero.
Yeah.
He's a cool superhero.
And Channing Tatum's actually a pretty rad guy.
I think he would make a good Gambit, too. So he was absolutely stoked to be involved in the standalone movie, and the plan was to introduce his character in 2016's X-Men Apocalypse, but that did not end up happening. And meanwhile, the Gambit movie went through numerous scripts by numerous writers. Rupert Wyatt signed on to direct, and then Doug Liman, and then Gore Verbinski, and then Channing Tatum himself.
Fuck it, I'll shoot the goddamn movie.
Seriously. And then Disney bought Fox, putting all of Fox's Marvel projects in jeopardy. which brings us to this past week when Disney officially canceled the project and removed it from their release schedule. Sorry, Gambit fans, it just ain't happening. Not yet. They're gonna get there eventually. They're mining. They're gonna get there. It's gonna be 10 years.
Yeah, Marvel's eventually gonna kill off. They're gonna run out of characters.
Yeah.
They're fine, Gambit.
Yeah.
Channing. Someone call up Channing Tatum. They're like, Channing Tatum is 60 years old. But he says he'll still do it.
That's all right. We'll call up Abigail Breslin. How old is she now? Look, in 2040 at this point when they make it? Gender's completely fluid.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
It is hilarious because Channing Tatum, poor guy, he apparently during this whole decade-long process, he took dialect classes, got his
really?
Cajun, and he learned close magic and sleight of hand. He got really fucking good at it.
Yeah.
He's now a pretty talented magician, but he did it in
awesome,
preparation for the role.
Awesome fucking pickup artist too, by
yeah.
the way. That's true. He did get Jenna Dewan Tatum, so pretty good.
He's a nice looking guy.
He's a good looking dude.
And he can dance.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on now. Have you guys seen the cosplay from last weekend's Comic-Con? Holy shit. Oh, what's that?
Oh, I got confused for a second where we're wait, Comic-Con?
That's not Comic-Con, you say?
It's a bit.
It's the Met Gala? It's a bit. I don't actually have a thing in my ear.
Nope.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the hell the Met Gala is, but from the looks of it, it's some sort of costume party for insanely rich people, maybe a meeting of the Illuminati. And a lot of these outfits are weird as hell. We've gone over how much of an absolute lunatic Jared Leto is before, but he really outdid himself here with a lifelike sculpture of his own head that he just carried around all night.
I think that was his date, though.
Or,
Jared Leto loves himself very much.
It's entirely he's such a method guy that he might have searched the entire earth for a guy who looked just like him, found his double, and then cut that person's head off.
Literally murdered him.
All for an outfit.
Yep, and then
I
sent
wouldn't put it past
other
him.
parts to his castmates.
Yeah. Ugh. And wow, look at Katy Perry. She really nailed her cosplay for Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast. She even did a costume change later on, turning herself into a giant hamburger.
Yep.
Is this a reference to the classic arcade game Burger Time?
I have no idea what the whole point of I get the whole thing was camp. All right, hold on. I'll say my thing and then we'll go into this. Ezra Miller, who is also a total weirdo who stars in DC Comics movies, he showed up with a sculpture of his own face, but as a mask. And underneath the mask, there was this makeup that will give you this insane headache if you stare at it too long, because it's just eyes all over.
Eyes.
It looks like Michael Jackson's Final Form. Is really what it looks like.
I mean, the doctors, they couldn't come up with a way to make it happen in time, but...
He's like, I want 20 eyes on my face. Oh yeah, and then there's Janelle Monáe, who's basically a hat rack, and then Ryan Murphy as the Wizard of Oz or some shit. And there's also, the thing is, Ryan Murphy, I don't know if anyone told Ryan Murphy that he didn't actually have to dress up like a crazy person.
I mean,
he's Ryan Murphy, but he doesn't have to.
He's participating in the fun.
It feels like he went down to a party city.
Oh, he might have,
And then he was just all right, let's just give me that cape and we'll just do this. There we go.
Make me look golden.
But it is funny because some of these rich and famous people that Kanye just showed up looking completely normal. Kanye you would expect to show up in a crazy
He's
outfit.
actually super into fashion. He showed up wearing a fucking...
He smiled though.
Weird.
He did smile.
I miss the old Kanye.
Yeah.
The one with mental illness.
Jesus Christ. We still aren't quite sure what the Met Gala is, but we can say that it is super weird, kind of creepy, and how dare you, Elliot? One of us might get invited someday. I'm still
If it's
holding
either
out
of us,
hope.
it'll probably be you.
I don't know. I could see you in that ridiculous Wizard of Oz outfit.
Well, goals, I guess.
Hashtag goals.
Anyways, speaking of absurdly rich people with more money than sense, it looks like that whole college admission scandal in which actresses Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin and a bunch of other assholes, including former Machinima executive Steven Sempervivo, that's all already getting made into a TV show, despite the court proceedings not even being finished. Side note though, Steven Sempervivo this week pleaded guilty and is probably going to prison for a year and a half and is going to lose a ton of money in this, which is all awesome news until you remember that there's other people behind bars with much harsher sentences just for shit like getting caught with a bag of weed.
Yep.
So that's kind of fucked up,
Yes.
but hey,
Pretty fucked up.
at least he's not getting away with it.
Yeah, he's going to prison. That
He's
guy
going to prison for less time
he's
than...
not gonna have a good time.
Yeah. Ugh.
He's not gonna have a good time.
No, the picture of him leaving the courthouse, he's just like, Well, you really fucked up, Steven,
Yep.
didn't you? Didn't
Well,
you?
can I say something too? Because I actually went to a private school, and I feel like I probably would have gone to a school where some of these kids would have gone.
Yeah.
I 100% can see the shit happening in real life.
Oh, yeah, no,
I mean,
there-
it did happen in real life, but like close to me, I can see how this happened.
I definitely knew a few families in like middle school and high school that were not above like doing some shady shit.
Oh, listen, you gotta
like for the sake of their kids' academics.
Gotta get an Ivy League, man.
Where it's like they'd hire a tutor to like help their kid with their college admissions essay, but then just have the person write it for them.
'em, yep.
And like not even be ashamed of it, just like, oh.
I mean, no, absolutely. Like 100%. This is actually something that would happen. And there's already actually a fictionalized TV show about this in the works. It's really fast. They really went for
Wow.
it. It's weird because the story broke for the first time literally 2 months ago, and legal proceedings still have a long way to go. The show is apparently based on a book about the whole scandal titled Accepted. And if you think it's weird that there's already a book about this whole thing, don't be, because the book isn't even out yet. The 2 Wall Street Journal writers who were writing it have merely announced the fact that they are working on it, and Annapurna Pictures already has purchased the rights to it.
That's you're in a good spot where you can just say, I'm writing a book, and they're like, I'd like to make a movie about your book.
Take it, yes.
But there's nothing in it yet. Nevertheless.
And it's Annapurna.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah.
They do good shit.
They do good shit.
So yeah, it's all happening quite fast. But,
Yep. Gotta go fast, as they say
as they say in the movies,
in the movies.
got to go fast. Moving on now, well, speaking of Sonic.
Oh, God.
Well, no, we're not going to talk about Sonic, but speaking of video games,
This-
here's some video game news. Who out there is excited for Borderlands 3?
Woohoo!
Yeah, us too. Despite the best efforts of the guy responsible for that game's existence. Borderlands is great. Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford he's a lot of things. He's the type of guy to not notice that his personal assistant is stealing millions from him over the course of several years. He's the type of guy who sues his former best friend. He's the type of guy who goes to medieval times and accidentally leaves a thumb drive there containing all sorts of company secrets and what appears to be underage pornography. Though, to be clear, it wasn't underage porn.
It was
legal. Barely
legal.
legal. Barely legal, still legal. And Randy didn't have that porn on the thumb drive so he could jerk off to it. He's a magician, and he was just studying how this barely legal porn actress had managed the magic trick of ejaculating so much liquid out of her vagina.
Sorry, I just need a moment. This has been my favorite story of all time.
I know. I know you love it.
Oh yeah, I got personally involved in it because, long story short, don't actually make a joke about it on Twitter because he will name search himself on Twitter and block you for even mentioning it.
Yeah,
in fact, in my tweet, I did not even say his name.
Oh yeah. No, he's not mentioned in the text of the tweet at all.
Nope.
So it's like, how the fuck? Who snitched on you?
I don't know.
Someone
Somebody
snitched
is
on
like,
you.
hey, Randy, you gotta see this video. Guys, check out my video
like,
at Skydart. I don't know. It's down
good,
there
it's
somewhere.
Good. Was that the Jackbox Party Pack music that you were
Yes, it
singing?
was. It was drunk and listening. We were playing Jackbox.
I
and-
recognize that music anywhere.
Yep, that's, of course you would. Anyway, great. So the latest Randy Pitchford drama, it never ends, comes to us via former Claptrap voice actor David Eddings, who I actually know personally as well, who worked at Gearbox for several years and is now with Rooster Teeth. Every time Randy Pitchford dramas come up lately, Eddings has slyly tweeted stuff that basically confirms that Randy Pitchford sucks.
Yeah.
But in this past week, he went into detail about why he feels that way. So he feels ripped off for having done the voice work on the previous games for free because he was an executive as well. So when he was asked to come back for Borderlands 3, he says he asked for a fair share of royalties from the past games, plus an apology from Randy for, according to Eddings, physically assaulting him in a hotel lobby at GDC 2017.
Eddings then elaborated further on that in an interview with Newsweek this week. He said that at GDC 2017, he kept hearing rumors about Gearbox potentially being sold, which, as the VP of business at Gearbox, he thought that was weird, something that he should probably know about. Like, why am I hearing rumors about something that's my job to do? And it turns out, it looks like it, that Pitchford had allegedly been making deals behind his back. So yeah, when Eddings, went to Pitchford and asked him about it in the lobby of this fucking hotel, Pitchford demanded to know.
This is GDC, by the way.
Yeah, this is a major gaming convention.
Yeah.
They're surrounded by people in the business. Like, this is out in the open. He brought it up to Pitchford, and Pitchford's like, who the fuck told you that? And he's like, okay, this is weird. And Eddings refused to say, because he's like, I don't want to get, he's a man of his word. He's not a snitch.
No.
And Randy loves snitches.
Yep,
He does.
And squirting.
Yeah, so
Magic tricks.
he refused to say. And in response, Randy Pitchford shoved him hard enough to leave a bruise in front of everyone, and then like stormed out. And then supposedly for the next 2 days, Pitchford angrily sent text messages to Eddings, repeatedly asking him who told him about the buyer. And then Pitchford just, quote, rage fired him over the whole thing after those 2 days.
Yep. So yes, all indications thus far, going back several years, seem to indicate that Randy Pitchford is kind of a dick who treats his employees poorly, which sucks because, again, Borderlands is a great franchise and Borderlands 3 looks incredible.
I'm very excited
It
for
looks great. It looks a little Borderlands 2-y, but I'll take it, like, after the pre-sequel.
Yeah.
I'm looking after Battleborn. You guys remember that game?
Oof, yeah.
It's not even about separating the art from the artist. More about separating the art from the guy making the artist work 80-hour weeks and not paying the artist their fair share and allegedly physically assaulting the artists.
Yikes.
But hey, at the very least, we're getting some fun hard drive headlines out of it, like this one. Borderlands 3 cover art revealed to be Randy Pitchford shooting himself in the foot. And that's from back in March.
Yeah. That's like, because that was getting passed around this week, and I'm like, oh, that's great content. You look at the date on it, it's like mid-March, and like, oh,
well,
wow.
the original news started in January.
Yeah,
The whole USB stick thing was like January.
It's crazy. Because when this all started, all this Randy Pitchford shit, when it started, Borderlands 3 hadn't even been announced yet.
Yeah.
And I looked at all this news and I'm like, okay, so I can pretty safely assume we're never getting Borderlands 3 because this man is a lunatic and I don't know if this company is going to exist in a year. But then lo and behold, it's like, we are getting Borderlands 3. But how?
I just wonder how much power the CEOs actually have over the creative, like they don't, I just feel like
I don't know.
He's just sort of, well, Randy is also like the face of Gearbox.
Yeah,
like his
and he
shirts,
shouldn't be.
No, but he was like a novelty at first. I actually knew Randy back in the day and attended one of his parties, not a peacock party.
Oh,
not,
yeah,
not one
you
of
have to
those.
clarify.
Please don't make me do it.
No,
Please don't make me.
it wasn't a sex party
Thanks,
in
Elliot.
his
As far as I
magic
know.
theater in his house.
Not that I saw. I think I left early, so I don't know.
Okay.
But
Left before the
I did.
magical orgy.
Yes. So he was always kind of an odd guy.
Seems a little insecure.
Well, you know.
Seems a little thin-skinned.
I wouldn't disagree with him. That's why he's got to wear those ridiculous shirts. It's like a defense mechanism for prey. They're like, oh, I have to wear it.
And you could even call it peacocking.
Fuck, that was a good one.
Well, anyway, that's fun.
Yep.
Just finish the game and release it, and I'll buy it. It's fine. And then I never have to worry about any of this ever again for at least a couple years. But in other gaming drama...
Oh, are we doing this?
No. In other gaming drama, some dude named Jared cheated on his wife with one of her friends and also may have sexted with underage girls. And I'm not going to fucking talk about
Thank
it.
you.
Because this isn't a drama channel. I mean, it was a hell of a day to be on Twitter. I was oddly fascinated by it. I don't know any of these people. And I was just like, this is weird. It's just weird living in a time where this is how... people's dirty laundry gets like aired out. Like you used to dump out your husband's like drawers like in the front yard.
You throw them out the window.
Yeah, now you dump it out on like Twitter in front
Get
of
out of
millions
here,
of people.
Joey! I don't want you. I'm stealing that from SNL.
I'm going to my
I'm going to my sisters.
So yeah, not gonna bother talking about it.
No.
I'm sure there's a ton of videos out there coming.
Go watch those and come back and finish this one.
But also in gaming, here's some fun news. Tencent has made some tweaks to the Chinese version of PUBG Mobile to adhere to China's new gaming rules. And in addition to changing the name of the game to Game for Peace, they've also removed all blood and death animations. And now when someone dies in the game, they kneel down, they politely put all of their gear in the box in front of them for you, and then they wave goodbye and just sort of like fade away.
It's absurd.
I kind of love it.
I mean, I do too, but it is also absurd because PUBG is always like I think
it's like that's the realistic battle royale.
The origin was basically zombies and death and murder.
Yeah.
The whole thing is like what Battle Royale originally was a film where they put 100 or not 100. They put was it 100 children on an island?
It was like a school bus full of children.
It wasn't 100, but it was a good amount of children on an island and told them all to kill each other, right?
Yeah.
That was the origin of Battle Royale. And now they're like, yeah, but like this is too bloody.
Yeah, also, I mean, you take away the blood and the death animation, it's like, you're still fucking shooting people.
Yes. There's no difference.
Like the game is inherently violent.
Yeah, and it's just like, but also, like, when you die, you don't want to say, hey, thanks, man. Thanks for fucking shooting me in the head. Here's my shit.
I don't know.
Good luck.
Let China experiment with this. If this brings some positivity to gaming, some much needed positivity in these dark times.
Not gonna stop the modders.
So be it. Yeah. And speaking of waving goodbye, that's what we're gonna do right now.
Bye, guys.
That's our show. Chloe, you want to promote anything that you're doing nowadays?
Actually, it's funny that you say that. I can't say too much, but check out Hard Drive magazine, maybe, potentially.
Oh, really?
Potentially in the next couple
weeks. I already do follow Hard Drive magazine, so I'll be keeping an eye on that. Good to know.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on the show.
It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
And yeah, we'll have to have you over more once we get things. This house is still a mess. She saw it. It was shameful.
It smells like machinima in here. I'm gonna say that. It smells like machinima.
See, you're the first woman in this house, I think. So that
makes sense.
Yeah. Well, anyway, bye-bye.